region. So we got up bright and early and jumped on a bus from Porto, and they're going to take us all around the Duoro region. We're going to go to several different wineries, do some wine tasting, we're going to have some lunch, and we are going to go on a little boat tour, so it should be a really fun day. So of course the link to this will be down in the description box if you're interested in booking it yourself. Right now we are in Amarante, I believe is how you say it. I'm really bad at Portuguese, even though my mom's side of the family is Portuguese. I have a hard time pronouncing anything, so if I butcher Portuguese words, please don't judge me. But this is our first stop. Stay tuned and let's see what we get up to. Upon arriving in Amarante, we got a short little guided tour from our tour guide Marta, who was awesome, and she gave us a brief history and overview of the town, and then we got about 30 minutes of free time to roam around the main street area and go take a look at the church. Every region in Portugal has a pastry that they're known for, and here, well, their pastry is a little odd considering this is a very religious, conservative town. The bolos cakes are these phallic-shaped cakes that are usually given as gifts to single ladies. It all goes back to the Saint Gonçalo, who was born here and was said to have Cupid-like abilities. There's even a whole festival for him in June where they make and sell versions of the bolo cake that are as long as a foot. People give them to the objects of their affection, or families give them to the single women in their family as sort of a good luck to find a man. We popped into this bakery and had a sort of different version of that wasn't quite so literal looking. It was a little early in the morning for a penis cake, if you asked me. Try it. That's good. It is a lot of sugar, like she said. Between that and the double espresso, I should be awake. We took a stroll across this gorgeous bridge to check out the Church of Saint Gonçalo. It was actually a Sunday morning and they were about to have a service, but we popped in to see. They had beautiful Portuguese gilded woodwork in there that was stunning, and it was definitely worth a short visit. Amarante is really interesting to see because it's actually one of the most ancient settlements in northern Portugal. It was founded in 360 BC. I gotta get back on the bus before they leave me. This tour is very much a road trip. The first stretch from Porto to Amarante took about an hour and a half, and then from Amarante to our next stop took about 45 minutes if I remember correctly. The next stop is Quinta de Avesada, which is in the town of Faveios. I'm probably saying that wrong, but this winery produces mostly Muscat grapes to produce Moscatel, which is the national aperitif of Portugal. All right, we're in our second stop. First wine tasting. Port wine. Port wine. So delish. In the tour, there's a local tour guide that meets up with us to give us the history of this winery. There's one tour guide for the English speakers and one for the Portuguese speakers, and they take you into this sort of little museum about Moscatel wine, and they show you basically how it's produced and how the workers would basically stomp on the grapes for 5 hours at a time. The grapes are crushed and the skins are left on so that the flavors can be absorbed over a period of 3 months. At this point of the fermentation process, a grape brandy is added to fortify the wine. Once fermentation is complete, the wine is aged in wooden vats for a minimum of 18 months. Most Moscatel wine is sold and consumed when it's between 2 and 5 years old, with an alcohol content of between a 16 and 22% ABV.
3 years old. Tony is like becomes 5 to 6 years. And the wine, import wine, is become like 7 or 8. We call it, reserve wine. All of the traditional Moscatel we have inside of this one. So before, and I would like to ask you, which one you prefer? The Moscatel that you're drinking outside, or this Tony port wine? Yeah, it's Tony, yeah. So which one you prefer? This one or port wine?
Yeah.
Really? Thank you so much.
This whole cellar just like smells like port.
Then you get to drink it.
After the short tour, you're served lunch in this lovely banquet hall. I did not have a picture of our main course because I was so hungry, but the food was really delicious, and they also have plenty of wine at lunch as well.
No, there's nothing like that.
Bottoms up.
Yes, no, we had to sit, we had to ask. Are you finding food?
At this point, the true scenic beauty of the Duoro region is on full display on the drive. We winded along a road that just sort of hugged the curves of all of these hills, and you really get to see all these vineyards. The Duoro region is truly so beautiful, and one of the reasons why I think you should go on this tour is just to see the landscape of this area, period. But, you know, the wine tasting is a nice perk as well. Our guides stopped at a really beautiful scenic point so we could get out of the bus and take in the view and snap some photos if we liked. Our third stop was to take an hour-long boat cruise on a traditional Robello boat on the Duoro River. Now, this probably was the part of the tour that did not quite live up to my expectations. It was a really nice little scenic boat ride, but there was really no tour guide to sort of give you any sort of facts or information about where we were, and there was no wine on this boat cruise either. So it was nice, it was chill, but I wish that there was at least a little bit more interesting facts to learn about where we were. The other thing I'll mention about this is there's not very much space outside to sit outside, and it was such a beautiful day. Most of us were stuck in this enclosed indoor space. So if you want to be able to sit on the front of the boat, you have to be one of the first people on the boat, which means you need to be one of the first people on the bus. So make it your priority in the morning when you first get on the bus to establish your seats at the very front. That way you'll be one of the first people off, and you can get a better seat when you're on this boat cruise. That was relaxing, is how I would classify that. Very relaxing. I thought we would have wine on that, but no wine.
Not even them telling us any history.
So it's just a nice silent boat ride. Our fourth and final stop was the Coca Vineyards, which is the oldest port wine house in Portugal. So you come and take a stop here to take a tour of their winery, and then you have a port wine tasting afterwards that is all included in the tour. I have to say the views at this winery were some of the best I've ever seen at any winery I've ever visited. Absolutely stunning. Definitely smells like wine is being made in this room. Yep, the fermentation process is definitely happening in here. During the tour, you'll learn all about this winery and their history, as well as how port is made, and they also give you an overview in the shop of all their different ports and which ones you might want to buy. I actually bought a bottle when I got to the airport because I wanted it to be sealed properly for customs, but the wine tasting here was so delicious. I definitely feel like I am a fan of port wine now, where I wasn't really very knowledgeable or a fan of it before. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some info on whether or not this excursion is right for you. Make sure to subscribe if you like travel videos, and check the description box for the link to this tour as well as my other Portugal travel content. Until next time, bye guys.